Hey, Tripp Kramer here from trippadvice.com, and here with me are my good pal, my smart pal, Spencer Burnett from the Invincible Academy. And you might have seen him before. He's been a guest on the YouTube channel. We've talked about Snapchat, and we've talked about one of his specialties, which is fashion and style. And today, he's going to be helping pretty much any guy who's watching this. We're going to be helping guys who are either tall and skinny, who are athletic, who are short, or who are big and tall, or just big in general. We want to help you get into the right clothes. And there are certain things that you can wear for your body type so you come off looking more attractive. So Spencer, dude, thanks for being here, and thanks for sharing some of this information. Let's get into it.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me. You know, I always love sharing whatever information I can to your guys to help them become more attractive and, attract the right women, of course.
Yes, awesome, cool, dude. So yeah, where do we begin? What's some of the first tips we can give these guys in terms of body type?
Well, let's first start with like a overarching view of how you should dress for your body type.
Cool.
So you really got to think about balancing out your attributes, okay? So if you're tall and skinny, you need to balance that out to make yourself not look so tall and skinny. If you're a little bit bigger, you've got to make yourself look a little longer as opposed to wider. So let's start with the tall and skinny, okay? With being tall and skinny, a lot of times you feel like, well, since I'm skinny, I should wear skinny jeans and really fitted clothing. But that kind of is counterproductive because you don't want to look as slim. So one of the best things that you can do is add layers to your clothing. This is why I particularly love the fall, because you get to put layers on and it really calls attention to your fashion, but pulls away from the fact that you may not have as much, muscle mass, or you might not be as big. One of the other things you can do, let's say it's not the fall or winter and it's just summer or spring, is rolling your sleeves up. If you could see right here how I've rolled my sleeves up, this is going to break up the arm and make it not look so long. And so when you do this, you definitely look thinner, right? So breaking up the lines on your body by pulling the sleeve up is something you can do almost with any long sleeve shirt and make yourself look a little bit better. Next is the fit. This is super important for tall and skinny guys. And the most important thing, or the biggest mistake that I see guys make that are a little bit skinnier, is the neckline of the shirts. Now I have a particularly skinny neck for my size, so I have to get a 15.5-inch neck with, with 42, 43-inch sleeves. If you do anything bigger than that, it kind of looks like you're wearing your dad's shirt, and it's going to make you look skinnier than you really are. When it comes to your am I here on the screen? Okay. When it comes to to a suit, you want to do something that has like a wider lapel. Does this make sense? Just to add a little bit of broadness to the shoulders, and maybe a little bit more structured of a jacket, some shoulder pads, to make you a little bit wider. And skinny guys are really the only guys that can pull off the double-breasted jacket. So that adds a little bit of bulk to you. Next, you want to make sure that if you're tall, make sure your pants aren't flooding, and make sure that they go all the way down to your shoe. Maybe a little bit less if that's the kind of style you want to wear. But having too short of sleeves or too short of pants is just going to call the attention that you're taller than everybody else.
Cool. I like it. That's good. Well, that's good for me because I am one of those tall, skinny guys. So I guess I'll be taking some of those tips. And I didn't really realize that. I roll up my sleeves also when I have long sleeve shirts, but
Yeah.
But that's a good point. When you break it up like that, it kind of tricks the mind in terms of when you're looking at it, it's not so just lanky and
Right.
long. Right. So I like that. That's cool. So let's help out some of the guys who are a little bit bigger. Let's go the opposite.
Okay, so with the opposite, and let me plug in here so you guys don't lose me here. So if you're a little bit bigger of a guy, you also want to consider the fit first of all. And again, you might think that the bigger the guy, the looser the jeans, or looser the fitting of the clothing. It's actually the opposite. If you are a little bit heavier, you want to make sure that your clothes are more fitted, because more bulk just makes to the eye, it makes you look bigger than you actually really are. So I'm not saying go skinny jeans, but maybe slim jeans, and getting your shirts, you're making sure that your shirts fit. Now, sometimes when you have more of a fitted shirt, it becomes a little bit shorter, and you really want to avoid that if you're a heavier guy having that short shirt. So you want to make sure that if you're picking your arms up, you see here, I pick my arms up, you're not seeing any of my stomach. It's, coming just to my belt. So that's really important as well. And if you're a bigger guy, you want to wear lighter colors. You want to wear darker colors. So the darker the color, the slimmer the look. The lighter the color, the more fuller and more vibrant, and the more it draws attention to your eye. And when it comes to patterns, you also want to go with more vertical stripes, or with a suit getting pinstripes. That's a really good one for guys that are a little bit bigger. And you want to make sure you want to avoid, especially when you're suiting up, really wide ties. You want to go with a skinnier tie to not call too much attention to your midsection. Also, with taller guys, you want to avoid wearing really chunky shoes, where if you're a little bit shorter, you might want to do that. But when you wear a big boot as a big guy, again, it just adds more bulk to whatever you're wearing.
So yeah, I'm just going to reiterate here because it really sounds like everything is counterintuitive. It's like if you're skinnier, you want to wear a little bit bigger, and if you're bigger, you want to wear a little skinnier. And you might think,
right.
Well, I'd say if you're bigger, you'd think the opposite, like, oh, you want to cover it up. You don't want to accentuate some of your bigger parts, but you're going to look even bigger than you are if you're wearing some of those more baggy clothes. So you actually do want to go a little bit tighter, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and the thing is, if your body type is not the strongest attribute, as an attractive man, then you can use fashion to balance that out. So not only getting things that fit the right way or have these particular patterns, but maybe spending a little bit more money in higher quality fabrics or higher quality brands, because especially when you're trying to attract women, they're going to notice that stuff. So that kind of it's not like a bait and switch, but you want to call attention to the right things and draw attention away from the attributes that aren't as strong. So, spending a little bit more extra money on a high quality clothing is something you want to do, especially if you're not, super proud of your body.
Cool. So let's talk about some of the guys who are shorter, and I think maybe it's better for you to define what short is. Like, what would that be considered, and then what's good for dressing for those guys?
So being short is 5'8" and under, and about a third of the population is under 5'8". So it's harder for these guys, for shorter guys, to dress because there's not really stores for short guys. There's big and tall stores, but there's not really short, stores for guys that are shorter. And so when a short guy is shopping, it's a little bit difficult, especially in the pants, okay? Because the crotch hangs really low, which makes your legs look even shorter, and you've got big bunching at the bottom of the pants. So first and foremost, you want to make your legs look long. So making sure that you find an inseam that comes up a little bit higher, and so your crotch doesn't look like it's, the hemline of your crotch isn't 6 inches below, where it should be. That's going to make you look a lot more stocky. With guys under 5'8" as well, wearing some type of boot, or even wearing shoe lifts. They have shoe lifts that you put right into your gym shoe, and they add an inch and a half. Don't go overboard with this, but there's nothing wrong with wearing a little bit of a chunkier shoe to give yourself just that extra inch or so. I know a lot of guys that use that. Also, with shorter guys, you want to wear kind of like longer patterns in your shirts to give you the appearance of being taller. So wide patterns or horizontal stripes kind of defeat that purpose. So you want to go more pinstriped or vertical stripes as well.
Cool. And I just want to maybe say this before we get into the next one and reiterate that I want guys still who are watching this to feel okay about their body type. What we're not saying here is you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too short, you're too tall,
right,
and therefore you need to compensate for this or girls won't like you. This video is just made to, basically make you the best looking that you possibly can be. You know what I mean? Like, why not optimize that area and try to look the best, right? It's like we all should do that, but just know that this is not necessarily the thing you need to attract women, right? Most of the stuff on this channel that's not about fashion and date and style advice is really the stuff that's going to be the most crucial in terms of displaying your personality and things like that. But this video is just kind of meant to say, hey, why not maximize this area and look the best you can? But don't worry if you're too skinny, too fat, too short, maybe even too muscular. Some girls don't like that. We're going to get to muscular in a second. But just remember that that's okay, and you're okay with that body type. But why not dress in the way that's going to make you look the best, right? So,
absolutely, dude. And to that point, like, there are women that love short, stocky guys. There are women that love guys that are over 6'3". There are women that love kind of like burly, bigger, heavy set guys. And I'm not saying they're willing to accept it. It's actually what they prefer. So this isn't about changing your body type. You are given what you're given. It's about, and I love the word you use, optimizing your body type. So when you do find those women that love that type of your particular body type, that you're the best version of that body type, and that's what this is about.
Cool, awesome. All right, let's move on to guys who are more athletic build and what looks best on them.
Okay, guys that are more athletic build can kind of get away with wearing whatever they want. They can, most guys can't get away with wearing like oversized shirts and stuff like that, where more muscular guys can. But where you run into a problem, especially if you're very muscular, is kind of looking like you're trying to show off, and so wearing shirts that are too tight doesn't work. You just kind of look like you're trying to show off your muscles. So finding stuff that's fitted but not tight is really important. Also, for muscular guys, it's really hard to find jeans that fit your thighs but are that also fit your waist. So expect to, when you're buying a pair of jeans or you're buying a pair of slacks or suit pants or whatever, buy them so it fits your hips and your thighs, and then just go to a tailor. It costs less than $20. Have them hem up the back and tighten up the waist, because you're going to run into those problems. And then if you don't do that, when you put your belt on, it's bunching up, and it just doesn't look good. And as far as your shirts, you want to make sure stuff is kind of fitted in the chest and shoulders, but a little bit loose on the abs and the back. And that's going to give you just like a really nice drape on your body without looking like you're trying to show off. But on the other hand, if you're muscular, it's probably because you worked really hard at it and you want to demonstrate and show that off. But doing it in a tasteful way by wearing something that's, again, a little tighter up top but nice and loose on the bottom is going to give you that perfectly balanced look.
Awesome, dude. I love it. So guys, take some of those tips, use them, see how they work for you. Again, we just spoke to every single body type. If we're missing anything, comment down below. Let's hear from you. Tell us whether you're skinny, you're tall, you're big, you're short, you're whatever you are. Tell us maybe what's working for you. We want to hear from you as well. We can all learn from each other in the comments. So go do that. And then Spencer, I'm going to put your YouTube channel in the comments below so people can find you and subscribe to you. And I highly suggest you do, because he's got a great channel that talks about how to be invincible, meaning optimizing every area of your life. And I really think you guys will get a lot out of it. So it's called the Invincible Academy. Spencer, like I said, I'll put that link in the description. Guys, go check him out. Spencer, any last words?
No, that's it, man. And actually, my last words are this. Women are looking for a man, not necessarily that has been given particular gifts. They're looking for men who make great choices. And so if you make great choices in the way you put yourself together with your fashion, women are going to take notice, and it's going to make a difference on the way they respond and react to you.
Awesome. I completely agree. I love it. Thanks, Spencer. Thanks for being here.
All right, brother.
Subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to mine. I'll see you later.